What if I told you IPv6 routing is easier than IPv4? OSPFv3 eliminated the tedious network commands, and EIGRP for IPv6 works almost identically. Just add IPv6 to your commands. But here's the catch. One tiny misstep with the OSPFv3 router ID. Yes, it still uses IPv4 format, can break everything. In this video, I'll show you the exact steps to configure static routes, OSPFv3 and EIGRPv6 in IPv6 networks without the headaches. Watch and master IPv6 routing in minutes. OSPFv3, EIGRPv6, and IPv6 static route. In this course, we'll look at how to use static routes, OSPF routing, and EIGRP routing to populate our routing tables, and all in IPv6. Like IPv4, a router configured in IPv6 will create a routing table and add networks to it. Let's see how it is configured. Our router 1 has two interfaces with a global unicast address. By default, it does not take IPv6 into account. That's why you have to activate it with the IPv6 unicast routing. And they are assigned IPv6 addresses on their interfaces with the command IPv6 address. To configure a static route, it is the same methodology as in IPv4. On router 1, it is told that to join the yellow network, you have to go through the .2 IP of the green network. And on router 2, the blue network can be reached by the .1 of the yellow network. The default route in IPv4 is 4 times 0, while in IPv6, it's 2 times :0. As you can see, static routing is pretty quick to set up. But as in IPv4, as soon as you have a larger network, it is better to use a dynamic routing protocol. That's what we're going to see with OSPF. The version of OSPF that we have seen for IPv4 is officially called OSPFv2, and to support IPv6, the new version is v3. This new version only supports IPv6. That is, it is impossible to run IPv4 and IPv6 at the same time. For this, we would have to configure v2 and v3. OSPFv3 hasn't changed much. It's still a link state routing protocol that builds its LSDB base using LSA. The biggest difference between the two is the setup, which has become easier as there are no more network commands to type. We will now see how to configure OSPFv3 on the same topology as for static routes, and this time with the IPs already configured and IPv6 unicast routing enabled. The IPv6 router OSPF command enables OSPFv3 as a whole. Here we choose the process ID number 1. The funny thing here is that we have to set up a router ID ourselves, and that ID is in IPv4 format. And if you don't configure it, then OSPF won't work. This may be due to IPv4 nostalgia. And finally, all that's left to do is tell the interfaces to enable OSPFv3 with the IPv6 OSPF command. As you can see, there is no need to enter the networks. Now let's move on to the protocol EIGRP for IPv6. Here, the advantage is that at 99%, it's the same as in IPv4. All the commands are the same, except that you just have to replace IPv4 with IPv6. And that's it. The command IPv6 router EIGRP1 enables the EIGRP protocol globally on the AS1. So, by default, the protocol is off. That's why you have to set it up with a no shutdown. And then, all that remains is to do an IPv6 EIGRP1 on the interfaces, so that it starts looking for its neighbors and can broadcast its network.